I'm going to move on to some fun shit now. Or not fun shit, but just like some other reacts.
Once said, it may be dangerous to be America's enemy, but to be America's friend is fatal. I'm not Balkan, so I don't usually agree with war criminals, but this one was saying the truth here, because we all saw on video what unfolded between Trump and Zelensky, where an American ally, literally at war with America's enemy for like the last 100 years, and the biggest country in the world, was shouted at and scolded by Trump, the vice president, and this guy as well. This whole argument was so artificial, it was crazy to see. Zelensky literally didn't do anything disrespectful or wrong, and they started yelling at him. Now, I'm from the hood, so you know sometimes people come up to you on the street just to start fucking with you and making up any reason to get into an altercation. This is exactly what happened. Demanding an apology, demanding a thank you, so fucking stupid. Especially because this was all on video and we can see the entire argument beginning to the end. And by we, I mean the entire world saw this unfold. And everyone saw how America treats its allies. And this live TV argument was so bullshit that even Americans think that Trump or JD Vance were guilty of starting everything. The thing is, America is legally required to protect Ukraine because they made Ukraine give up their nukes in exchange for protection from the US in the Budapest Memorandum. Let me start off by saying I absolutely hate the current American rule. America has never been the good guy or anything like that. No superpower really has been, but this is too much, man. We watched America literally curse out their ally on live TV. Everybody knows I've been supporting Ukraine very hard since the war began and after Ukraine started getting...
Is it $2 trillion to Ukraine now? Wait.
Everybody knows I've been supporting
Russia's pretending to be
Ukraine
Americans. $2 trillion to Ukraine now.
very hard since...
It's been 3 years since Russia started their genocidal war against Ukraine. Ukraine had to endure direct war from Russia, North Korea, and Iran, and they're still standing. Fuck Russia, Slava, Ukraine.
The war
forever.
began, and after
He said $2 trillion to Ukraine.
Ukraine started getting foreign aid, it became a populist move to shit on Ukraine. And all people who know nothing about the dynamics of post-Soviet countries have wanted to say their objectively incorrect opinions about this. Like I'm sure Theo Vaughn really understands the dynamics here. He then deleted his post because he's a comedian and can't even fucking point to Europe on a map. And other people who are constantly on Trump's like Lex Friedman, you piece of who would interview Hitler just to hear his side of the story.
Yeah, he'd be like Adolf Hitler. Is there anything nice you can say about the Jews? He'd be like, Adolf Hitler, if you had something to say about the Jews that's nice, what would it be? He is I used to say he's an extreme centrist, but like after the now deleted tweet of him just like glazing Trump and being like, I want peace, but Zelensky was really disrespectful. That's when I was like, come on. Okay, dude, you've fallen off on the right side. Like, he is not a centrist, okay? I used to maintain that he was the only true centrist. He was the last true center. And that tweet was when I was like, all right, never mind. Yeah. He'd be like, Adolf Hitler, what is the meaning of love?
And call him a friend whom he bonded with over their shared love of Russian literature or some shit. Dostoevsky's Crime and Punishment fucking sucks. If I wanted to hear a Russian guy whining about being poor, they're right here, I would just go and fucking visit. And while Zelensky says that he doesn't think that his public humiliation was planned, I think he's low-key saying it to not fully ruin relations between him and the US, because there's this one Marjorie Taylor Greene, who is extremely anti-Ukraine, and her boyfriend somehow got one of those rare Oval Office interviewer spots and decided to ask Zelensky this.
Why don't you wear a suit? Why don't you wear a suit? You're at the highest level.
This was so disrespectful, dude. Imagine having this monkey over here fucking be the guy that shits on you. It's like JD Vance is one thing, okay? But this dude is like, are you serious? Like, you brought in the court jester. You brought in like a monkey in a suit to come in and just like throw his feces at you. You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy. It's just insane. This guy gets pegged by Marjorie Titan Green.
In this country's office, and you refuse to wear a suit. Just want to see if you do you own a suit?
Yeah, problems.
First of all, country leaders who are at war with a much larger empire don't usually wear suits. They don't really have time for that shit, you know? It's only the motherfuckers who don't care about this wearing suits because it's not a life or death situation for them.
Okay, bro, come on. It's not like I think it's a disrespectful question, albeit a funny one. But also, no, he's visiting America. It's not like he has to be in fucking, he has to be combat ready at the White House. No, it's a deliberate choice that he's doing. It's fine. It's not like the end of the world. I think bringing it up is stupid, but yeah, the entire point of him being like, why aren't you wearing a suit, was to belittle him, undermine him. But let's not act like he has to be in the fucking fatigues. He's in the front lines.
Such as Bush during all the Middle Eastern wars and more. You think if you're at war with the US or Russia, you're gonna give a fuck about wearing a suit? This is a talking point that has been propagandized from people funded by Russia or being a useful idiot that supports them for free. And also, Elon doesn't wear shit either. So these are clearly double standards. Elon Musk is in the Oval Office looking like one of those child predators they catch on YouTube and then beat up, along with a fucking chainsaw, and they're demanding Zelensky wear a suit and tie and make fun of him. So now a country's leader who is defending an aggressive war from the biggest country in the world is being made fun of from a guy who's famous for fucking this woman. And their whole argument was very disappointing to see. They're blaming him that he wants to start World War III, not the country that invaded them. You ever scroll through the news and feel like people are living two completely different realities? One headline is like, Zelensky just doomed Ukraine because he is bad. And the other says, Zelensky is amazing. So which is it?
Ground news. Oh my God, ground news ad. I've seen too much ground news ads.
Did he get cooked? And also add their spawn. So check a source's bias, fact holes. Right now there's a ton of noise around the source. It can save you from some truly deranged rabbit holes. Right now there's a ton of noise around the US-Ukraine relations. One side says Zelensky fumbled the bag, the other says he didn't. He actually did a good thing. I can also compare Ukrainian sources' reports on this versus how Western sources are framing it. And if I want to dodge the most unhinged takes, I can filter by factuality and location. Because, you know, InfoWars isn't really gonna give you some accurate information. I started using ground news because the internet is a minefield, especially after the rise of the far right. Every story feels like and you don't know if you're getting news or propaganda, and ground news actually helps with that. And with everything going on, wars, elections, and whatever, now's the worst time to be clueless. Right now you can get 40% off the Vantage plan, which gives you unlimited access to everything for only $5 a month. Just go to ground.news/Gattsu or scan the QR code on screen. Thank you a lot to Ground News for sponsoring the video. And I agree with Zelensky completely here. I cannot see one thing he said that was wrong, and I'm not even meat writing here. Russia has shown time and time again that they cannot be trusted with a ceasefire. Russia has been at war with Ukraine since 2014, and they have violated the ceasefire not once, not twice, but 25 times, until of course fully invading Ukraine in 2022. So obviously Zelensky is asking for security guarantees because there have been at least 25 other cases with Ukraine alone where they have violated their ceasefire agreement. Do you think they became the biggest country in the world through diplomacy and not violating their ceasefire agreements? And right after this, Elon, who holds a significant amount of power since he's always with Trump and always keeps cutting services for normal Americans, because why does he care? He's a billionaire, he can cut Medicaid, it's not like he's gonna give a fuck, he doesn't need it. Elon said he wants to leave NATO and the UN, so then all of Europe is just undefended. Fucking North Korea is in the UN. This is the easiest way to destroy your global hegemony, and they did all this within a month. Literally, if Xi Jinping himself was on the phone with Trump and telling him what to do to destroy America in the fastest way possible and bring about the Chinese century, he would not be able to come up with all of this. Like, fuck
Let's
you
go.
mean leaving the UN? What can I say? Good job.
Yeah, can't help but feel like, you know, JD Pondon is just doing the dang thing. You know what I mean? Let's go, baby. Chinese century of prosperity, American century of humiliation.
Job, man. USA replaced Gulf of Mexico's name with Gulf of America, and China built 96,000 miles of rail. And after this clownery, Europeans were like, okay, we knew America was cooked and could not be trusted, but let's actually start doing shit about this. But you guys have to realize that Europeans are pussies who cannot do anything except waste paper through useless voting resolutions. As always, it's up to the European people to do stuff since their politicians are fucking useless. So Tesla sales have nearly halved in Europe. Europe is actively looking for new allies such as India, China, and Canada. One of Norway's largest companies have announced that they will stop supplying fuel to the US Navy, and every American ally ever is actively looking for new allies now, including Canada, which is insane. Who knew that threatening to annex your neighbors, tariffing them, and threatening to leave their defense alliance would make them act this way? And motherfuckers were like, oh, you're meat riding China. Motherfucker, I have yet to see the CCP policy.
What? Did you see this? The stat that a single Chinese shipbuilding company in 2024 alone built more ships by tonnage than the entire U.S. shipbuilding industry since World War II? I did not see that stat, but god damn, that's good. It's a good stat. Yeah, big ups to China. I'm ready. President Xi, fire at will. As a white Chinese, I already have a familial lineage with Xinjiang as my on my mother's side. Our last name is literally Uyghur. Okay, please let me at him. Okay. What about Taiwan? Oh, you mean Chinese Taipei, dude? I'm telling you, I'm the regime enjoyer. I will do the propaganda. Let me in. Let me fucking in. Okay? I just want to enjoy high-speed rail. I want to live in a tier 1 city. I'm down bad. I'm down fucking bad, dude. Oh my God. By the way, what's funny about this is like, the way America's been moving, Taiwan itself is going to be like, actually, we are Chinese. We are Chinese Taipei by the end of this decade. Bro. This chatter is so funny. Taiwan belongs to China. Fuck the KMT. Dog, the KMT is the fucking unification party now. Wake up, okay? No, you mean fuck the, what is it, DPP? Those are the anti-Chinese party. The KMT is now the unification party. Yeah.
Politicians are hiling on the fucking stage. I don't like Nazis, therefore I'm getting paid by the CCP. Aight, bro. My grandpas were CCP shills as well for fighting against the Nazis in the Soviet Union, you fucking idiot. Just like me. And the
Top G, you are neither white nor Chinese. You are a traitorous Turk. We will not fire at you. We want you to live long enough to witness your capitalist empire grounded in the dust. I know this motherfucker is a white leftist dude living in like Iowa, because this is a typical white leftist attitude to have, which is like, my closest ally is my greatest enemy. Okay. This is the classic, like, oh, you agree with me on 99.9% of shit? Guess what, dude? You're not gonna be spared. The revolution will not spare you. I do love his LARPing though. It's very funny.
The thing is, they're treating Zelensky so harshly and abandoning the biggest country in Europe, Ukraine, so harshly that they showed to the world they do not give a fuck and will sacrifice anything and anyone for money. They're like, trade offer. I get to mine your entire country's minerals and keep them for myself as a profit, and in exchange, you get no security guarantees and nothing really. Maybe we just stop bad-mouthing you in the press and calling you a dictator, but that's about it. Maybe. The stupidest thing is that of the money that they sent to Ukraine, which wasn't even that much, Europe sent way more. 70% of that money gets reinvested back into the US military companies because they send their old stuff to Ukraine and then they need new ones, right? So they order new ones and then those companies pay taxes and grow the American.
It's so funny because like Gattsu, obviously being Georgian, as in weak-willed about restoring the glory of the USSR, despite the fact that one very famous Georgian did everything in his power to make the USSR glorious, is like outwardly much more pro-Ukraine than someone like myself, who has been called an Adolf Hitler lover over and over again. And yet, regardless of the aesthetics from the outside, especially because I'm not like Mr. NATO. I don't like NATO at all. I think NATO is awful. He also sees this. He's recognizing the truth. This is what I've been saying, which is like America offloaded his old ass weapons. America offloaded its old ass fucking weapons and then, you know, had to re-up, get more taxpayer funded, more money from the American government to be like, oh, look, we've lost so much of our inventory. And in the process, didn't lose anything else.
American economy, but they resorted to making Zelensky seem like...
I'm not sure about why, but Georgians are some of the most lived up motherfuckers you ever see online. Russia. That's why.
a fucking beggar and humiliating him live on stream. არა, ეს ავად მყოფიერი არა, ამათ სანამ არ დააჯავ თავზე და სანამ დედას არ მოუთხნავ. Also, destroying USAID was the funniest thing ever because I saw a tweet. What if we create USAID to fund right-wing revolutions in countries instead of this leftist, the gay...
What the fuck?
If we create USAID to fund right-wing revolutions in countries instead of this leftist, the gay stuff. My brother...
Yeah, the number one USAID appreciator, me.
Revolutions in countries instead of this...
Coward, why didn't you post the full meat pic? You fucking coward. Typical Georgian.
Except waste paper through useless voting resolutions. As always, it's up to the European people to...
Yeah, there's nothing funnier than thinking that the USAID actually... There's nothing funnier than thinking USAID... Well, I know Gattsu was making a joke, but there's nothing funnier than dumbass Republicans thinking that USAID actually funds gay shit. You skip back so far... Oh, yeah, I did. How the fuck did this happen?
The gay stuff. My brother, that is exactly what USA does. What the fuck are you talking about? It's used for American influence in other countries. And yes, America does fund right-wing revolutions. That's why they have overthrown literally every single socialist leader or tried to. Don't forget that they've tried to assassinate Castro 634 times with methods such as an exploding cigar, the skin disease diving suit, making him high on LSD in his broadcasting studio so he'd start saying bullshit and ruin his public image, and they sent him a white woman. And this is what she said. He leaned over, pulled out his 45 and handed it to me. He didn't even flinch, and he said, "You can't kill me, nobody can kill me." And he kind of smiled and chewed on his cigar. I felt deflated. He was so sure of me. He just grabbed me. We made the love. That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT! USAID was genuinely one of them.
It's true. That is one of the best. That's one of the coolest stories of all time. They want you to hate that man, dude, for the crime of fucking pulling off a successful revolution against a psychopathic fascist dictatorship that was aligned with the United States of America. Get the fuck out of here, dude.
America's biggest soft power weapons to gain influence in the countries it operated in, and America does fund right-wing revolutions. They've been doing this shit since like the 50s. They would overthrow a good socialist or a social democratic leader for an extreme capitalist that they themselves have trained and then privatize absolutely every resource in that country and all the state-owned companies and then get money for it, growing the American empire. And if you don't believe what I said, this whole strategy has a term for it called the shock doctrine, so you can look it up yourself as well, get a bunch of examples on where it has been used. It's genuinely so evil because they are playing with people's lives here, only to satisfy their egos and their capitalist money mindset. And this isn't the grind harder mindset, this is a loot people harder mindset, because the more Trump refuses to help their ally out, the more people will die. And they are pulling this stupid stunt of...
Yeah, to be fair, the thing that they did in all those other countries, they kind of did in Ukraine as well. Originally, just none of it matters now because, you know, Russia invaded Ukraine and that was unjustifiable. But we kind of, you know, we kind of did do that in Ukraine a little bit too. Just saying.
arguing and actively trying to embarrass their ally and treating him like a beggar. And the thing is, because Trump basically has a cult, his supporters will be like, oh, he's so cool for doing that. Take that, man who's trying to defend his country from the biggest country in the world. Because these people don't realize that they are in a cult following literal billionaires who do not care about the working class. They're literally shock doctrining themselves, where they're privatizing and getting rid of these essential human services under the pretense of saving money. Like, yes, man, I'm sure the richest country in the world needs to save money by dismantling the Department of Education, while literally every other country in the world has.
Why you keep defending Cuba, yet you cannot do the same for the DPRK despite them being similar? I'm a Western chauvinist. That's why. No, I think that the conditions in North, oh my God. The conditions in North Korea are significantly worse than the conditions in Cuba. Having said that, however, there is a reason for that, and I described the reason for that yesterday extensively. You must have not been here yesterday when I made this exact comparison. I literally went through this for about an hour. As far as I understand, I know where this chatter is coming from, but the local governance structure, I'm more confident in the one-party structure where elections happen and local democracy, not dissimilar to the Chinese process, like the Chinese political process and the Cuban political process, than I am with the North Korean one. I just don't know enough about how the North Korean government works. What I do know, however, is that it is a rulership that exchanges hands from one person to the next of kin. It's not like, it has almost like a monarchy structure. You could say Cuba has something similar, or you could say that Cuba has something similar as well. But at least I know confidently what the Cuban local democratic process looks like, which is, like I said, not dissimilar to the Chinese structure, where it's one-party rule, but all of the decision-making, like the important decision-making and the hands-on stuff happens at the local level. You go and you vote through a democratic process at the local level, and then your local representatives go and work within the party structure, the one-party structure, to make changes. And they do. They make those changes regularly. Same with the Chinese party structure as well. It's one party, but regardless of it being one party, there is a lot of local feedback in the process, which goes into a committee system. I think the DPRK has a similar structure. I'm just not confident about how that works, if that makes sense. I found that a lot of people from ex-USSR countries, even Gattsu, are fond nostalgic of the USSR, but absolutely hate Russia. Similarly, I met a 70-year-old Armenian guy. The city hates the Azeris, but that relations between Armenia and Azerbaijan was really chill in the 80s. For what it's worth, I think the USSR made huge strides in erasing internal ethnic strife like Yugoslavia did in the Balkans.
That department. America already is extremely privatized, to the point where when healthcare CEOs are getting capped, everyone is like,
it had to be done.
And these people still want to privatize everything more, so it becomes even more capitalist and they loot even more money from normal Americans. Of course, they fired a ton of people because they needed to save money, and also they want to cut Medicaid to pay for $4.5 trillion in tax cuts and mass deportations. The GOP plans to roll back the federal healthcare insurance program. This translates to To make Elon Musk and other billionaires richer and deport working people, we need to cut the healthcare insurance for normal people. And because of America abandoning their allies and abandoning their people just to be literal oligarchy, everybody is losing hope in the US, including Americans and including GDP forecasts, where they forecast the American economy is going to plunge nearly -3% in the first quarter. It's just crazy to see all this, and it's only been 40 days. We have to be here for the next 3 years and 10 months. Every morning, breaking news Donald Trump, breaking news JD Vance, breaking news Elon Musk. I don't want the news to be breaking anymore. Can it just be Trump making McDonald's or something for once? Please, instead of abandoning their allies? What the fuck even is the strategy here? Also, they're like, yes, Ukraine is bad for wanting money to defend against the biggest country in the world, which is also a nuclear power. But Israel? No worries, man. We'll cut healthcare for our citizens, fire workers, and cut aid to Ukraine. But you're fine because you're just an extension of the US. Oh, and also, on top of shitting on Ukraine and leaving it, he's talking about removing sanctions of Russia. So that is just plain evil, man. Trump's administration just loves fascist dictators. You bet your ass if Trump was with he would be talking about removing sanctions of him and that he's a great guy and like that Czechoslovakia and Poland.
I mean, yes, he would. 100%. Yes. Ideologically, he is literally aligned with Adolf Hitler. 100%. Instead of an FDR figure, if there was a Donald Trump style figure during World War II or leading up to World War II, we would have joined. We would have joined World War II on the side of Hitler. We would have never stopped. We would never stop sending gas or sending oil to Japan. And we would have absolutely fucking aligned with Adolf Hitler. 100%. The American-German Bund movement would have won. Henry Ford as president. No, Henry Ford would be the Elon Musk in this situation.
Poland want World War II, and America abandoning Ukraine like this reminds me of the words of Georgia's first president.
Between the West and the Soviet Empire, there have always been deals. Yalta is known. Munich is known. The Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact is known. Yes, Malta is known, and many other things are known as well. And let's not be on the side of the empire. Be on the side of your own nation and not on the side of deals with the West. Be on the side of our nation and serve your nation. This is the duty of the parliament and the duty of a deputy. And not play a double game between the empire and us.
And the egg prices are still going up. TLDR, don't trust billionaires. Like and subscribe, and goodbye.
Am I going to be allowed back in the country after my trip to China? Bro, why do you want to come back in the country after you go to the main country? Dems have lost Neera Tanden. Oh my God, Neera Tanden is reposting fucking Bernard Sanders. Bernie Sanders, I'm going to vote no. I think the American people are sick and tired of Elon Musk, the richest guy in the world, running around slashing Social Security, veterans programs. Republicans are moving for massive tax breaks and cutting Medicaid. You got to draw a line in the sand, I suspect, is what he's saying. What's the Geopolled video? The Democrats have lost Neera Tanden. Center for American Progress is back. Let's see what the Geopolled video is. There is a video that I wanted to watch that it showed up on my For You page the other night about the
if you think
the Chinese attitude towards Israel, and I thought that was very interesting. And then I saw it in my subreddit as well. After the Geopoll video, I'll watch that. How Cuba Works by Bad Empanada. This fucking guy. That's such a funny way to start the video. All right, let's watch it.
This land was promised to the chosen people 3,000 years ago by God. You are wrong. I think you'll find it was actually promised to the Trump family, which obviously includes Donald's chair, addicted daddy Elon Musk. Yup, the illegal African immigrant who's
A dude with an accent like this is not allowed to make a video on Israel. He's going to go to jail, dog. What do you mean? If there's one nation that is more like firmly planted in the existence of Israel and will aggressively persecute you, it's fucking England. Like, this dude his life is not saving him. No, more than Germany. Bro, yeah, dude's got a Balfour accent talking about Israel, dude. Listen, dog, your ancestors did this, okay? No, more than... Dude, Turf Island structurally is almost as rigid as Germany, okay? And also historically more responsible for Israel. They made it happen. I will never forgive and I will never forget. Yeah, Balfour accent, exactly.
Who's fixing America's immigrant problem.
I'm just living the meme. It's like there's living the dream and there's living the meme, and pretty much what's happening.
Trump will set you free. Yeah, that's right. As any good-hearted, moral, God-fearing isolationist president would do, Trump has taken some inspiration from his father's habits. Ethically cleansing Coney Island, New York, turning it from this to this, for example.
Who's the president?
And yesterday, the oligarchy's pocket pussy, more commonly known as Donald Trump, took to his Instagram to announce the plot of land he has his eye on developing next. The new addition to his real estate empire, Palestine. That's right, after their unwavering support for Netanyahu's regime and his swarms of militarized OnlyFans models and TikTok dancers, wiping out realistically hundreds of thousands of Palestinians.
If you don't kill those supposedly innocent kids, what would happen later? This one will kill 50 people. They will become police, one way or the other. So that's what the Torah says. Someone is on the way to kill you now or in a year from now. You can kill him even now, a year before. You don't have to wait a minute before. But the point is right here that Hashem said, do not have mercy on the children.
שאישה שם היא אויב. תינוק שם הוא אויב.
עוד בתים, עוד מגדלים, שלא יהיה להם לאן לחזור. אגב, בתקופת התנ"ך גם היו שוררים את האדמה במלח.
הרמדאן זה הזמן הכי טוב להרוג אותם.
How many civilians have been killed in Gaza, from what you know?
Who gives a shit?
And obviously doing much worse as well.
To this actually of a 13-year-old boy that occurred in an Israeli prison in Moscovia in Jerusalem. We examined these allegations. We believe they were credible. We put them to the government of Israel. And you know what happened the next day? The IDF went into the DCIP offices and removed all their computers and declared them a terrorist entity.
Yeah, you know who else did that? The American government. That dude is a former State Department guy explaining that process. But yeah, America followed suit. Bro, oh my God. The Democrats still shamelessly send me text messages that ask me for money. I fucking hate this goddamn party so much. Oh my Lord. This is from the 1948 Nakba, the 1948 documentary. This video is from... I think it was he's describing the I think is it the Tantura documentary? I thought that this was from the Creation and Catastrophe, 1948 Creation and Catastrophe. It might be from the other one. My bad. But he's this, like, they describe Deir Yassin, and I think they describe Tantura as well, but it could be one or the other.
Finally, out of all the Western leaders supporting this, including the nasal, greasy, grey, half-assed piece of shit I pay tax to.
3 reasons why conscription is actually a good thing. First, conscription would allow us to...
What? There ain't no way there's people making TikToks in the UK about conscription. Are you fucking joking? Bro, what is British Mischief doing? Why are there 2 of them? Why is there 2 British Mischiefs? That's how you know England is worse than America. At least we have one misgift. These motherfuckers got two. America on top once again. England blew a 13 colony lead. God damn. Britkiff, dude.
Improve diversity, equity, and inclusion throughout the military, allowing us to increase representation from different gender, racial, and socioeconomic statuses, thereby challenging.
Bro, he's rad-libbing conscription? Are you fucking insane? Oh, he's a comedian. Oh, thank God. Oh my God. Oh my God, I took it seriously. This guy's joking, right? Like, this is a joke. This is not real. Oh, thank God. Oh my God, I was so scared. Oh my God. Oh my God. I thought he was like a NATO guy. Like, he's like a crazy NATO guy. Holy shit.
Traditional military demographics. Secondly, a more diverse and conscripted military would allow people from marginalised backgrounds to have better access to mental health and educational resources that they otherwise wouldn't be able to get. Not forgetting environmental and social justice initiatives. With millions more young people conscripted into the army, those resources and that manpower could be used to help fight irreversible climate change around the world and help people in need who have been affected by climate change. It would also allow young people to spread awareness and positive change throughout the globe. So Keir Starmer has said that he needs troops in order to protect Ukraine. And that means all of us may well have to band together and volunteer to be in the British Army to defend Ukraine from Vladimir Putin. Now, I myself will be the first to volunteer, but everyone should think about the benefits of conscription and all of us joining the military in order to defend our country and make the world a better place.
Finally, someone's come forwards with a plan for Gaza's future and rebuild.
Can you explain what is conscription? How do you not know what conscription is? Is fucking everybody joining the military, okay? Is a draft. Mandatory draft. Mandatory draft. Mandatory draft. Mandatory draft over a certain fucking age and under a certain age.
That's right, Trump a couple days ago unveiled his...
I'm sorry for getting upset. Maybe it was an XQC watcher. I apologize. I'm so sorry. You know what? I should be nicer. You're just asking nicely. I'm not American. Dog, America doesn't have conscription. Ukraine has conscription, for example. Turkey has conscription. America is one of the few countries where we have a concept called the poverty draft. Okay, I'm still being upset at this person, and I shouldn't be. This is an educational moment. I am going to be nicer. I apologize. It's perfectly understandable that you don't know what it is. It just means a mandatory military draft. South Korea has one. Israel has one. Turkey has one. I'm actually sorry. I shouldn't have fucking popped off. He left, you scared him off? No, I didn't. He's just...
Grand proposal for the rebuilding of Palestine, aptly named Trump Gaza. Yeah, you've heard of Trump Village, you've heard of Trump Towers, you've even heard of Trump Shoes. Plus, we've all seen the triumphs of his current leadership of the US, handing all his...
To be fair, I just realized I've been doing fucking 9 hours right now. It's almost 7 p.m. That's probably why I fucking...
power over to an unelected, heavily autistic guy who likes to LARP as his own admirer on Twitter. He's fired most the federal workers responsible for America's most important assets, including their nukes. He started rolling out all his tariffs, which makes being a normal American business owner or consumer 8,000 million% harder. He's caused insulin prices in some states to go up from around $6 to around $80 fucking dollars. This is whilst being on Medicare, which you pay upwards of 200 quid every month for, on top of that, in a country where everyone's fat and diabetic. So boy, am I excited to see what Trump Gaza has to offer. Let's take a look. So yeah, here I have the entirely AI generated Instagram reel, which was posted yesterday on the USA's president's official account. Yeah, it's through this medium that Trump has decided to show us all his grand plans for Gaza. Let's get into it. Yo, firstly, why is this in 280 pixels, bro? Are you telling me the president of the USA couldn't even afford the premium OpenAI subscription to export this in HD? Even the audio sounds like it went through a pair of fake Indian AirPods whilst exporting. These stingy motherfuckers will cut costs any way possible, bro. Man, he should have just used the open source Chinese AI for free, man. I don't know though, the CCP might actually be too ethical to allow this insane fucking video to be generated on their app. Okay, first off, I guess he's portraying how terrible it is in Gaza right now. Honestly, a pretty good start here. At least he's got the integrity to admit the horrors unfolding in Gaza, unlike the previous president.
Were I a Jew, I would be a Zionist. And my father pointed out to me, I did not need to be a Jew to be a Zionist. For I am.
Bruh, for all you Americans here, this is like, imagine if someone went to the site of 9/11 and proposed building a floating strip club spaceship or some shit.
Ground Zero. So this is where the first guy got AIDS.
Peter, this is the site of the 9/11 terrorist attacks.
Oh, so Saddam Hussein did this?
No.
The Iraqi army?
No.
Some guys from Iraq?
No.
That one lady who visited Iraq that one time?
No, Peter, Iraq had nothing to do with this. It was a bunch of Saudi Arabians, Lebanese, and Egyptians financed by a Saudi Arabian guy living in Afghanistan and sheltered by Pakistanis.
So you're saying we need to invade Iran?
You probably are Shia, innit? You probably are Shia, innit? They're all kuffar. They're all kuffar. What? Who could do anything about it? What? What? Shia kuffar. What?
You probably a Shia, innit? Oh, that's hilarious. The old kuffar.
Although like 60 times the amount of people were killed in Gaza, and instead of being treated with respect, they get the absolute opposite, obviously. Anyway, as far
Israel did this shit for so fucking long, and then they're like, why are we a global pariah? It must be anti-Semitism. It's just like, it's so insane.
As far as the AI slop goes, this is very, very reminiscent of Netanyahu's Gaza 2035 proposal, which was another AI-generated utopic delusion presented to the Israeli people about a year ago. You know, some Dubai-esque city, which the Israeli government said would be connected to fucking Neom. Neom! It's also the same technique Akon used to scam people out of billions of dollars with his Senegalese futuristic Akon City project. It really does make sense that Trump would resonate with this, you know? Him and his wife are both literally crypto scammers now, aren't they? So yeah, adds up. I wonder if this Gaza 2035 proposal will announce Melania coin as their new currency or some shit.
Donald's coming to set you free, bringing the light for all to see.
Oh, I can't believe it.
You know what's crazy about that fucking AI video, dude? It's the song, every time I hear it, gets stuck in my fucking head.
Donald's coming to set you free, bringing the light for all to see. I assume this is like a religious reference, since Trump has presented himself as this godly Christian dude. Sure, bro, sure. Which is kind of interesting, considering there's a lot of Christians in Gaza. Also, these guys are genuinely the descendants of the OG himself, Jesus Christ, JC. Like, dude, you're never gonna believe whose great uncle you just bombed.
I just want to say this to our Christian friends, you know, just to call it as it is and say it straight out, you know, you guys are worshiping one Jew, That's a mistake. You should be worshiping every single one of us because we all die for your sins every single day. And that's exactly what's going on here. We're all God's firstborn, and we're dying for your sins right now because the Jewish people in the land of Israel are the bulwark against the orcs.
Yo, it's so fucking, it is so, oh my God, bro. Using Judaism and Jews this way is so insanely fucking nefarious. It's just like every day we move further and further away from the grace of God, okay? Holy fuck.
Donald's coming to set you free, bringing the light for all to see.
Alright, well, let's see what holy light you're bringing to the table then, Mr. Trump.
No more tunnels, no more fear.
No, it's fucking Elon, bruh. All roads lead to Elon with this fucking guy, I swear to God. They're in love. They're actually using that Oval Office for one thing and one thing only, man. Also, what the fuck is he eating here, man? Is that a bread bowl? Is that a Hungarian goulash bread bowl? Honestly, I wouldn't even be surprised if Israel claimed this as their own food. Oh, yeah, the traditional Israeli dish, hummus. Oh, yeah. The traditional Israeli spice, za'atar. Oh, yeah, the traditional Israeli dish, full English breakfast. Yeah. Goulash, hey, invented in Tel Aviv.
Okay. I don't think even Israel is claiming the traditional English breakfast. Hold up. Hey, yo, let me tell you, okay? I don't think even Israel's like, nah, this is the English breakfast actually is the Israeli breakfast. Ain't nobody claiming that.
Bro.
We're reclaiming the watermelon. It was always ours. Israel invented the seedless watermelon. It's Israeli. So eat your watermelon because it's Israeli.
Where does it end, man? Where does it fucking end? Ah!
The late great Israel.
No more tunnels, no more fear.
No more tunnels, you say? No more tunnels. Hey, I don't know about that one, man. I don't know. I'm joking. Obviously, I'm talking about the tunnels America is going to dig to get to the oil that was coincidentally found under and offshore Lebanon and Gaza. Coincidentally, right before the war. The war.
Gaza is finally here.
Yo, hold up. Run it back. Roll that back.
Gaza is finally.
Are you kidding me, man? What the fuck is going on, man? That's right, guys. Don't worry. Trump is going to save Gaza by placing bearded women in bikinis on their beaches. You know, if this issue actually meant something to him, he probably wouldn't be making a mockery of it in like an AI video. Not only is this a mockery of the mass grave site that Gaza is right now, this is also just an open mockery of his own country's people, his own voters, and his own policies, because this is the same guy who made it his entire priority as president to sign executive actions against trans people.
I know how to fix the Middle East. 2 words: Trump, Gaza. Gold everywhere. Clubs, casinos, Elon Musk eating hummus on a beach, and last but not least, smoking hot, bearded belly dancers.
Hey, yo.
No, not in a gay way. More in a...
In what way?
They used to be terrorists, as you can see, but now they're like hot belly dancers.
Nah, man.
Nah. No homo.
Anyway, I like the golden Trump balloon, man. That was a nice touch. Just gobbling your own meat all the way down to the balls, huh?
Gaza is finally here. Trump Gaza shining bright. Golden future, a brand new light.
The funny thing is, Israeli cities don't look like this. Have you seen what most of Israel actually looks like? It was built so hurriedly and so unaesthetically, and just so badly as well. Like, don't Israeli construction companies literally use this one illegal building technique that means floors in Tel Aviv just occasionally fall through? Yeah, this is called the pow-cow construction method, which leads to a disproportionate amount of Israelis falling through their floors and dying. dying. This is what the quality of Trump Gaza would be. I mean, look at Trump Village, man. It's not exactly paradise, is it? I don't think anywhere would ever end up looking like this unless the UAE develops the entire thing. But Toomey probably looks closer to this than any Trump development ever would. So Trump is here portraying himself going non-verbal in the club. Look at this guy, man. So awkward. No motion in them hips whatsoever. Why are you just touching this girl, man? Why are you feeling this woman? Oh yeah, forgot about that one. Now, if we're being real though, we all know Trump has way too dark of a skin tone from all that fake tan to ever get let into an Israeli nightclub.
To be fair, I think Trump has the perfect complexion of an Israeli dude who's been out in the sun for too long.
Yes. Sorry. It's okay. They'll pull you. This is the two version. No, it's full. Okay. Thank you. Wow. It's full.
Here we have an accurate description of the US government's spending right now. They can't pay basic federal workers, but just overjoyed to continue throwing the American citizens' hard-earned tax money into Israel's open arms. Ah yes, the Trump Tower in Gaza, second only to the Trump Tower in Greenland.
I'm ready to see gas prices under $1.50. I'm ready to see Trump buy 1 million Bitcoins for a strategic reserve. I'm ready to see inflation go down to 0. And I'm ready to...
Was that a Stone Taz meme? Ugh. Gross. Stone Toss is a Nazi. Puerto Rican Nazi.
See inflation go down to 0. And I'm ready to go to Greenland and have a nice hotel stay at a future Trump Tower that gets built there. I'm ready for that.
Yeah, you know Greenland is like -30 right now, though.
But
Nah, what is he eating now, bro? Is he dipping fucking crinkle cut crisps in pizza? This fucking fat ass, man. Oh my god, this is actually an American's idea of utopia. Crinkle cut Lays dipped in Domino's pizza. Man, if we can't kill civilians with our AI drones that target any moving creature, we'll just have to kill them from morbid obesity instead. Do it our own way. Hey yo, new US Army technique for killing innocent Middle Easterns just dropped. High fructose corn syrup. This shot is so funny to me because you know how America...
They got real mad at that one. The Christians got mad at that one. Trump's own fan base was really mad at the golden statue. What is the religious significance of this, chat? Apparently there's some shit about the golden statue where they were like it's sacrilegious or something.
It's so funny to me because you know how Americans call Kim Jong-un or Stalin or Xi Jinping evil dictators for making these crazy grand propaganda-like statues of themselves? Bro, look, literally look. If Kim Jong-un made this exact AI video about North Korea's new beach resort, Americans would start crying so hard. But dude, your own president made this and posted it on his main IG. At least when Kim makes propaganda videos, he actually puts in some effort. You know, he gets out of bed, shows up for a hard day of filming, does like 100 takes of his sunglasses coming off, actually launches...
It's fucking badass. It actually is bad. He's a bad bitch.
Badass missiles and shit. You know what Trump did? He typed a prompt into ChatGPT and he didn't even bother exporting the video in HD. This shit 360p max. Lazy, fat Americans, man. You can't get them to do anything well.
Golden future, a brand new life.
That selection of shots describes America's current situation pretty well, I think. All these endless piles of gold and riches, and Elon Musk is literally the only one getting money rained down upon him.
Yeah. American conservatives want to be a Gulf chic so bad. Like they want to be a Gulf state, especially Donald Trump. No wonder he loves Saudi Arabia so much. He just has like the same exact fucking aesthetics. I swear to God.
Well, yeah, no, this is what you guys voted for, man. Congrats.
The deal is done. Trump Gaza, #1.
Fucking yes, mate. Just a couple Benidorm geezers right there. Matter of fact, I think I met these guys in Marbella. All I can hope for is that skin gets to these guys like it gets to the Brits in Malaga. Even better, they get the Marbella balcony treatment. I wonder if these guys will enjoy their new beach resort the same way Trump used to in his heyday at Jeffrey Epstein's island, huh? I don't know why people were shocked that Trump did a Rickroll meme with the Jeffrey Epstein files, since he would be literally peppered all over those files. Like they were bros. They were in their Eiffel. You know, if you connect the dots, it starts to make a lot of sense why these guys love Israel so much when you think about it.
Can I get a selfie?
They don't have an extradition treaty. Have we fact checked this? I mean, yeah, I know this is the UK, the Labor Friends to Israel guy. He got recently outed as a pedophile. This is marginal far right lawmaker, not that consequential. Israel doesn't have an extradition treaty with the United States of America, so a lot of pedophiles do go there for sure. Like Brian Singer, I think, this is literally Israel becoming a refuge for pedophiles, warns advocate for child sexual abuse victims, is I think a Haaretz article. What else? 75% of sex offenders in Israel are released before the end of sentence. Yeah. There's a couple of like very famous high profile incidents, including famous directors and stuff. You know, ones that don't go to France. Roman Polanski.
Can I get a selfie? Sure. Free Palestine!
I dated a 17-year-old girl when I was 38.
God can strike me right now. I do not like little girls.
I just think we need to kill them, every one of them, and that's it. And if not that, because the country will not let that happen, the government. Just, the least we can do is just kick them out of our land.
Anyway, yeah, fucking hell, that's about it. I don't have much more to say in terms of Trump specifically. I guess this is just the next 4 years now, huh? Unless... Anyway, considering my employer is Google, this is a pretty crazy video to make. I had to cut out a lot of the stuff I wanted to put in, which is really annoying. But I also don't want to go to Google Gulag.
Israel is a incredibly far-right fascist country. A lot of this stuff is normal. Like this, what do you think happens? Also, look at America. America is also a very far-right country as well. Hello? Look around. Israel and America are analogous Israel and America are very close to one another. I mean, aside from the fact that Israel is an extension of America, but like, look at everything I fucking complain about on a daily basis, every single day for 9 hours a goddamn day about the United States of America. Shit is quite similar in Israel in that same vein. It's just, it is what it is. That's what happens when your country is just like dominated by right-wing sentiment. And slowly but surely, you normalize all different sorts of right-wing attitudes.
Like forever. But give it a like and a comment anyway, you know, because we
have a fucking rapist felon president. Like, what are we talking about? You know what I mean? The only difference is because Israel ties itself to Judaism as a defense mechanism, these sorts of criticism is often associated with anti-Semitic criticisms as well. So it's like I'll admit, like there's parts of this video that made me uncomfortable too. You know, maybe it's a little too touch and go, a little too close in terms of zoomer editing. This is Geopol's channel. Like even when you know you're adding on like a Stone Toss comic and stuff in there too, it's just like, yeah, Islam L. The fuck does that have to do with Islam, bro? You're so stupid. Why don't you just say like Saudi Arabia is like this too? You know what I mean? You can't. You don't want to say that. You just want to fucking be Islamophobic. That's the problem. Like, because the reality is, if you were to single out a country and talk about their problems in a similar vein, like a reactionary country that operates in a way that is like that's completely unacceptable, that's fine. Yes, I would be like, okay, you're correct on this. We don't disagree. Except you have to fucking say what you truly mean. It would be like if I were to talk about Israel, but instead of talking about Israel, be like, oh, Jewish L, like common Jewish L. That's the difference. That's fucking anti-Semitic. You are Islamophobic. You probably also don't really mind Saudi Arabia. Let's be real.
I have a sneaky suspicion it might be demonetized completely and also hidden from people's recommendations a bit. Thank you, Sundar, my G. Anyway, my next video will be edited in a lot more depth. It will also be ridiculously long, so bear with me for a bit. It will be worth the wait though. Thanks to my Patreons. Sign up through the link in description if you want your name right here, right now. Peace.